Knowledge is power, but application gives you your superpower.
When you become an influencer, it gives you the edge that separates you from the competition. The GIP Initiative, the Global Influencers Partners Program, is designed to expose you to over 5 billion potential consumers across the world. When you are a rising star in business and you need visibility, reach, impact, client conversion, and cash flow optimization, positioning yourself to become a global influencer may be the ideal tool that you need in your arsenal to win in business. I encourage you to join the GIP Initiative and position your business to build confidence, trust, and credibility and cash flow optimize the fastest.
Most people are never able to access their superpower because they never apply the concepts. Today, I want us to do a deep dive into knowledge versus application because today's lesson is important to rising stars in business. As a rising star in business, you can be exceptional knowledgeable about the sales communication process, and you may be a guru in leveraging the pull factors of sales. You may be a guru in leveraging the push factors of sales. But being a guru and not being able to apply this body of knowledge, you're not going to help the business to achieve its sales objective. You may be knowledgeable about the ideal client stress test ladder and about the client conversion ladder. But being a guru, an exceptionally knowledgeable person about how to stress test your ideal client, and how to attract the ideal client. The knowledge is different from the application. And the important question you want to be asking yourself, which is more important, the knowledge or the application? Over quite some time, I have related information to an international audience on the ideal client stress test ladder and the client conversion ladder. And I want to make this lucidly clear. The objective of me presenting this information is not only to help you to get the knowledge of smarter, better, wiser ways to grow and scale your business. Having the knowledge is super important. But what is even more important is that I need you to apply this body of knowledge, because it is in the application is where all the magic begins to take place. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do is to look at today's subject and to really show the importance of combining the knowledge with the application. And I begin now by looking at the ideal client stress test ladder. One of the first things that is necessary for you to do as a rising star in business is to take the time to really identify your ideal client. And there are multiple moving parts to really master this process. One, it begins with you understanding how to create brand relevance. Two, it begins with you asking yourself, how can I assess the market viability? And you need to know all of this if you're going into business. Three, you want to be able to ask yourself, how can I access my ideal client? Four, you want to ask yourself if you're able to reach an urgent and immediate need. Five, you want to ask yourself, does the ideal client have the ability to pay? And last but not least, you want to know that the ideal client has the willingness to pay. Now, if you don't understand all of this, you need to ask yourself if you truly understand your ideal client. Now, all of this is in the theory. Let us try to break this down step by step to ensure that you have a better understanding of what is being said. The first thing you want to do is to establish brand relevance. But how do we establish brand relevance? It's important to identify the ideal client. And many rising stars in business, you struggle with this. You struggle with simply being able to identify who is the ideal client. And to identify the ideal client, you need to have the relevant information and data about the ideal client. And very often, to get this body of knowledge, you have to divorce yourself from sitting on your throne. There are many rising stars in business. They have the kings and queen mindset, meaning that you sit on your throne and you believe that magically the data that you need is going to appear in front of you. The data only comes to you, or you only get access to the data when you're going to access the data at the various data points, or two, you have your team dynamics that you're able to deploy to collect the right information that will enable to help you to make informed and highly educated decisions. On the first concept of creating brand relevance, you need to identify your ideal client. But how do you go about doing this? And many rising stars, you are struggling with this, and you are going to continue to struggle with this for a long time. What we have done in our program, we speak a lot about, first of all, demographic classification. So you need to make a highly educated decision as to why you're going to be targeting the demographic based on their demographic classification. And as we go into this, there's the biodata markers that you need to understand here. And if you don't understand the biodata marker of the ideal client, you don't understand your ideal client. I want to shift this a little bit. So it's important to spend the time to understand the ideal client. It is important to spend the time to understand the viability of the market. It is important to spend time to understand how to access the ideal client. And this is a major challenge again, the access point, because we are working with clients all over the world. And what we are seeing is that you may have some idea of who is the ideal client. You may have some idea of the market viability. You may have idea about how to access the ideal client. And even when you're given the information as to how to access the ideal client, because you're thinking like kings and queens on your throne, and you're entitled for everyone else to serve you and not you to serve yourself as a rising star in business, you're seeing the access point. But because you have this kings and queens mentality, you're not able to access the ideal client, either independently or by deploying the team efforts to help you to access the ideal client. And I want to emphasize this because access is important. You're either accessing the ideal client by what we call the pull factors of sales, or you're accessing the ideal client by using the push factors of sale. Now, the pull factors of sales means that you are an expert in some form of the influencer model. So you're able to leverage storytelling, you're able to leverage motivational teaching, you're able to leverage educational content. And because you are excellent with this, you're putting these content out into social media, mass media, independent communication channel, or the metaverse. And because you're so good at what you're doing, you're attracting. But if even you're using this approach, it's important for you to recognize it's going to take some time to be known, liked, and trust. But it is still necessary for you to deploy these marketing strategies to be able to access the ideal client. This again is application. You may have the knowledge of how to apply this information. You may have knowledge of this body of knowledge, but if this body of knowledge is not applied, it is not serving your best interest. How do you get access to the ideal client? How do you attract the ideal client? You have to use mass media. You have to use social media. You have to use the metaverse, and you have to use independent communication channel. In other words, you have these 4 options that are available to you. You either use them collectively or you use them selectively, again, based on data. And I want to really encourage many of you to go to my book in Volume 1, Master the Sales Communication Process. We go deep into these concepts to really help you to understand how to deploy this body of knowledge in order to optimize your sales process. Again, I want to emphasize there's a difference between having the knowledge and applying the knowledge. Now, I can say to you, when you want to reach the ideal client, when you want to access the ideal client, it is important for you to first of all research where to access the ideal client and the best time to deploy your advertising and marketing content to reach them. And the advertising and marketing content can only be deployed in these 4 platforms across the 4 ecosystem: mass media, meaning radio, television, newspaper; social media, there's a plethora of them; the metaverse; and independent communication channel. These are all avenues in which you could reach them. Independent is when you're going to the ground to establish relationship with the ideal client. This is something that I'm seeing many rising stars in business you're struggling with. So I've spent some time giving you this information. Why? Because I want you to win. I want you to succeed in business. But if you don't apply this body of knowledge, you will never be able to experience your superpower to reach and to impact and to client convert and to cash flow optimize your business because you are not applying. So you're a walking encyclopedia in the theory. What you need to become is a living encyclopedia of the practice. You need to apply this body of knowledge in a strategic and clinical manner that's going to help you to achieve the business objective. You want to establish visibility, reach, and impact, client conversion, cash flow optimization. You want to achieve confidence, trust, and credibility. You want to move over to where you can become the real influencer. And everything that you touch after this point, you have the golden touch because you have the know, like, and trust. Again, if you don't apply this body of knowledge, it is not serving your best interest. So today we're talking about knowledge versus application because the fact that I'm seeing a whole lot of rising stars, you're going to fail, not because you don't have the knowledge of what you need to do, not because you don't have a good product or services, but you're going to fail because your falsified notion of how to position the business and the brand to attain success is indeed a falsified notion. You want a theory, but then when it comes to the application, the heavy lifting, the hard work, you're allowing fear and doubts to get into the way of your success story. All right. You're allowing fear and doubts to get into your way, the way of you realizing your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations. Or perhaps you're underestimating the cost of doing business and you want to avoid this cost of doing business. And in reality, you really can't avoid this particular cost because think about this. When you connect with the ideal client through mass media, social media, the metaverse, or independent communication channel, it allows you to build healthy, productive relationship with the ideal client. It provides that opportunity. And because it is allowing you to form a healthy bond, a healthy relationship with the ideal client, it is also setting the stage to increase your visibility. It is increasing your chances to reach the ideal client. It is increasing your opportunity to make impact. It is increasing your opportunity to convert. It is increasing your opportunity to cash flow. But when you negate applying yourself, all of this is what you're undermining. And I want to come back to an important point. Early on, I talk about the pull factors of sale. And the pull factors of sales is when you're leveraging one of the influencer models, which is documented in my book, to attract your ideal client. And there's nothing wrong with this. But it's important for you to recognize that this is a process that is capital intensive. And this is a process that also takes time to build a know, like, and trust. Regardless of that, there's a cost to doing business, and it's something that you need to acknowledge. The point that I want to make here is that in cases when you're using the pull factors of sale, which is beautiful because of the information that you're going to be disseminating, you are literally creating that platform for people to know you, to like you, to trust you, and to eventually invest in you. But that is one avenue that you're deploying, the pull factors of sale. But you also have, on the other hand, the push factors of sale. And the push factors of sales is where you have your sales team and they are leveraging cold calling. They are leveraging direct contact. They are leveraging, on the ground connection with the ideal client. And I'm saying to you that sometimes this is necessary because think about this. It takes a listening or viewing audience some time to get into the know, like, and trust and to get into responding in the way you want them to respond to your brand. So as a rising star in business, it makes a lot of sense to deploy both of these systems. The pull factors of sales, where you're using the medium to get the information out to the public. And you're also using the pull factors of sale, where you have a strong sales team. You have the strong sales team that has the knowledge and the know-how that is making the sale, not for simply to, make the sale. They're making the sale because they have a commitment to add value and fix problems by delivering your value offer to the ideal client. So think about this. You have these two systems working for you. Does it set the stage to accelerate the growth of your business, the impact of your business, the cash flow optimization of your business, the fast tracking of the scale up of your business. When you deploy these two methods, is it hurting you or is it helping your brand? It depends on the approach that you're using. But my recommendation is that you have these two options. And as a rising star in business, especially the rising star in business that need to get to that point of cash flow optimization the fastest, these are important concepts that you want to learn, apply, and master. Three things. Learn them, that become knowledge base. Apply them where you get your superpower. Master them where you're able to significantly enhance your game. But many rising stars, again, because you have the kings and queens mentality, you may invest in the knowledge, but you're not prepared to make the commitment to apply the body of knowledge where the results lies. You only get the results by applying the body of knowledge. You only get the benefits by committing the time, the talent, and resources to master the application of your skill sets to optimize the results that you want in sales, business, and in life.
Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York do more than just support our clients to pitch their businesses to investors access working capital at 0% APR. We also support our clients to grow and scale their businesses faster and cash flow optimize. Pitch Deck 101 LLC recent partnership with 10X Branding Marketing LLC and Global Capital Inc. out of the USA has enabled us to form unique partnership with multiple financial institutions, which means we can do even more to accelerate the success of our clients. Let Pitch Deck 101 LLC give you the support you need to pitch to investors, access capital, access new markets, and grow and scale your business. Contact us now on 332-235-1099 for a free consultation.
I want to emphasize this. We're rolling out a program globally, and I'm rolling out this program not because I have the time to do it. I'm rolling out the program not simply because I want to do it, but the single most important reason why I'm doing this is because I am seeing businesses across the world. You're starting, you have an excellent brand, but then you're failing. And you're failing because of limited ability to apply yourself. You have this kings and queens ideology. Now, if even you have the kings and queens ideology, you need to ensure that you have the right team dynamics to help you foster the growth of the organization. One of the first things that you want to focus on is your sales optimization. But I want to emphasize this too. There are many sole traders, or they call them sole entrepreneur. And I do believe that many sole traders being in business all alone, it's a recipe for a disaster if you don't have the right mindset. It's a recipe for a disaster if you don't have the right mindset. To grow and scale a business, it's important for you to recognize that there are three levels of that business that you need to understand. There's the strategic, and there's a lot of responsibility that has to be carried out at the strategic level. There's the tactical level, and there's a lot of responsibilities that has to be carried out at the tactical level. And then there's the operational level, and there's a lot of responsibility that has to be executed at the operational level. You want an example? An example is that those at the strategic level, they are the board of directors. They are the think tankers. They are the brainstormers. They are the ones who are coming up with the strategic vision for the organization. And they may not necessarily be the same team of people who are interpreting this vision and managing a team at this tactical level to help achieve the vision. And then you have the operational level. The operational level is all about execution, is all about application. The reality is this: you are placed in an unfortunate position when you are the sole trader, when you are the sole entrepreneur. Why? Because you are the strategic leader, you're the tactical leader, and you're the operational leader. And when you are not multitasking these responsibilities, you wishfully think that they're going to fix themselves by themselves. It is your leadership responsibility to understand this, not in the theory, but in the theory and the practice, because you may know that to build a successful organization, a successful business, you have to build the business to function at these three levels effectively: strategic, tactical, and operational level. And to ensure that it functions effectively, you need to also have your SOPs for each of these departments, standard operating procedures. You need to systemize them. And that's what's going to help the client conversion process to be more effective. That's what's going to help the customer relations to be more effective. That's what's going to set the stage for your business to be more successful. The theory is important, but it's not enough. But when you're able to combine knowledge with the application of this knowledge, when you combine these two things, magic begins to take place. And I want to conclude on this. It doesn't make sense for you to invest the time, the talent, and the resources to really understand how to create brand relevance. And I'm going to quickly give you this again. How do you create brand relevance? Brand relevance is you innovating the products and services, and you know 101% that the consumers need these products and services. All right? It's like, you know, that you can walk from South America to North America. It's going to take you a lifetime to do that. So you innovate the airplanes, or you innovate the drones that can fly long distance. Why? Because you know that there is a need, because people need to go from one place to another. So you create the need. And that's how you create the brand relevance. So as you pause to think about brand relevance, you want to ensure that you understand who you're targeting, because not everybody's going to go on the drone. Not everybody's going to go on that plane, because they may not have the disposable income to spend with you. You need to know all of this. So how do you create brand relevance? Demographic classification. You need to know this. What is the pain point of the demographic classification? Then you need to test your ability to innovate products and services to reach those expectations. But the reality is this, you know, you have a lot of opportunities out there to build wealth for yourself if you simply apply this technique. Who are people that need help out there? What are their exact pain points? And then you ask yourself, am I in a position of strength to live up to their expectations, to their needs, and solve their pain point, and to do this excellently? With the highest degree of excellency. You may have this knowledge, but you never apply it. And if you don't apply it, you don't get the results. And then you blame everyone else except yourself for where you are right now. The reality is that you're right where you are because there is exactly where you want to be. And your actions and inaction is a clear indication of that as a fact. Your action is either going to push you forward or it's going to pull you back. And I'm trusting that you don't allow fear to pull you back. I'm trusting that you don't allow lies to pull you back. I'm trusting that you don't allow the lack of information to pull you back. And most of all, I'm trusting that you do not allow the failure to apply a healthy body of knowledge to hold you back from your greatest success story. I believe in you. But what is more important is that you believe in yourself and you make the commitment to enhance your ability to achieve greatness. Now, in conclusion, I want to say this. As a rising star in business, it's important to recognize that just like how you need to take care of yourself, you need to take care of the health of your business. And I often talk about the 4 types of care. And you want to ask yourself which one of these care you're giving to your business. Are you giving your business preventative care? Are you giving your business compulsory care? Are you giving your business reverse care? Or are you waiting until there is an emergency and then you start thinking about emergency care? At that time, it may be too late shall be the cry. You need to function in your abundance in preventative care. And here is where you get the mentor, the coach, the sponsor, the supportive community that wants you to win on your side. And they're able to give you the right information that is going to reduce the cost of doing business and accelerate the process of doing business. And I want to emphasize that there's some people that think that if I get into business today, something magical is going to happen and I'm going to become wealthy and successful in 6 months. It's a process. It takes a baby 9 months to grow in your womb. And what happens after that 9 months, you still have to nurture that baby. You still have to take care of that baby. That baby is going to fall a few times, but that's a part of the growth process. The same thing applies to your business. It takes time to optimize the dream. So if you have a wishful thinking that it's going to magically happen in 6 months, you got a falsified notion and you're going to set yourself up for frustration. That happened in very unusual cases. I'm not going to speak about those cases, but very unusual cases. And I'm not telling you to go and give favor to allow magical things to happen, because you may live with regret for the rest of your life, depending on the type of favor that you're going to be given. With that, I trust that you learned something here today. It's not enough to have the knowledge. It's equally important to apply this body of knowledge when you want to win in sales, in business, and in life. You got to apply, all right? You got to marry these two things together. Knowledge application, knowledge application, knowledge application. If these things are not synchronizing, you got a problem. All right. You got to become a master at this. Get the knowledge, the data, apply the data the way it should be applied. All right. Apply the data. All right. You have to ensure that you're constantly putting yourself in that position of strength where you are market sensitive, you're market oriented, and when you're applying based on the market responsiveness, because you have all of this data. When you apply yourself, you're not wasting your time because you're applying yourself with a blindfold over your eye. You're applying yourself because you understand brand relevance, you understand who you're targeting, you understand their pain point, and you've taken the time to innovate products and services that reaches and exceeded their expectations. But you can't know this in theory and just sit on it. You got to apply. Do enjoy the rest of the day, and I look forward to being with you in the next broadcast.
Elevate your business with 10X Branding and Marketing LLC. Our expert team specializes in enhancing your brand's visibility and connecting you with your ideal clients. We employ strategies that increase reach, leaving a lasting impact and driving client conversion. Trust and credibility are vital in businesses, and excel in building them even with a limited budget. Our cost-effective approaches ensure you get the best results without overspending. Ready to boost your business cash flow? Contact us at 332-235-T99 and let 10X Branding and Marketing LLC guide you to success. Our focus is on elevating your visibility, which directly translates to growth. Experience the power of effective branding and marketing with us and witness your business thrive.